Okay, let's do some evaluate composite functions. Okay, I'm going to give you f of x equals 3x plus 1, and g of x equals x squared plus 2. Okay, so what if I ask you to evaluate f of 10? It means to input 10 into the input spot of the function f. So the input spot is right here, so 3 times 10 plus 1 equals 30 plus 1, which is 31. Okay, what about g of 5? So input 5 into the function, so now it becomes 5 squared plus 2, which is 25 plus 2, or 27. Okay, what if I ask you to do f of g of 5? Okay, well then, that means you need to figure out what g of 5 is first. Okay, so that g of 5 is 27. So now you can replace g of 5 with 27, which means you're figuring out what is f of 27. So then f of 27 is 3 times 27 plus 1, which is a value of 82. Okay, what if I ask you g of f of 5? Okay, so on this one, what is f of 5 first? So f of 5 is 3 times 5 plus 1, which is 16. Now we're trying to figure out what g of 16 is. So this would now be 16 squared plus 2, and that comes out to 258. Okay, so you can see here that order is important. You always go from the inside out. So in other words, f of g of x does not necessarily equal g of f of x. Okay? Order is important. Okay, one more here. F of x I'm going to give you is x minus 1. G of x equals x squared plus 2. Find f of g of 3. Okay, so g of 3, plug in the 3 into the g function. So we get 3 squared plus 2, which is 11. So now I'm doing f of 11, which is 11 minus 1, or 10. Okay. What if I ask you what is f of 8? Okay, well first you evaluate f of 8. So that's 8 minus 1. So now you calculate f of 7. And so that would be 7 minus 1, or comes out to 6. Okay, can you find f of g of x? Okay, so that means I'm using the f function, which means the input minus 1. And what am I inputting? I'm inputting g of x. Okay, so that ends up being x squared plus 1. Okay, so let's do g of f of x. Okay, so the g function means the input squared plus 2, right? That's the g function, the input squared, and then add 2. So now, what am I inputting? I'm inputting the function f of x I'm inputting x minus 1 squared plus 2 is the function. Okay, so if I was to graph these, now this is a parabola, and it's basic, but it's shifted up 1. So there's my vertex, and then I can do the basic pattern 1, 1, 2, 4. Okay, let's graph g of f of x. So this is a parabola again, and it's shifted right 1, up 2. So there's the starting point, and our maneuvers are over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4. Okay, and there's your two composite functions. Okay, one more here. I'm going to graph f of x for so there's f of x and g of x. Okay, can you find g of f of negative 2? Okay, so you go to negative 2 on the f. So in a negative 2, it's at a height of 2. So what is g of 2? So now you go to g of 2. So 2, it's at a height of 1. Okay, what is f of negative 3? So f of negative 3, so here it's at a height of 1. Now I need to know the function f when it's at 1, it's at a height of 5.